Hey, shall
We're given a function
I'm
f.
good.
F is the
yeah,
piecewise function
come to Shih Tzu.
0
Yeah.
if
Funny
x
'cause
is
it's
less
like,
than 0,
what's his name? Shang Tsung.
x
Yeah. That's
if
who it
x
was.
is between
There you go.
In his
0
times,
and 1
he was probably
inclusive,
just some like gay, like, well, I
2
don't
minus
know.
x
He was
if
probably like just
x
some
is
loser
greater
with
than 1
tactics.
He was like
and
a
less than
Jordan
or equal to
Peterson.
2,
Yeah.
Just sucks.
and
Is
0
Jordan
if x
Peterson
is greater
okay?
than 2.
No.
He's kind of like
Isn't the
spiraling out.
Going through his
Isn't
thing.
the Art of War shit like?
And g of x is defined to be the integral from 0 to x of
I
f
think
of
that's
t
the first
dt.
art. I think that's the first rule.
Yeah, everyone has to read it in prison.
In part A, we're asked to find an expression for g similar to the one for f. So we want to write g as a piecewise function.
They still have sex, but they kick you
Well,
out. You're not part of the, you're not a member.
we can integrate piecewise. So if x is less than 0, then it follows that g of x is the integral from 0 to
Damn,
x
I'm
of
a Marriott Bonvoy member.
f of t, which in this case is just 0, dt,
Yeah, dude, fucking.
which
some of these
is
hotels are getting
0.
wild with what they think they can charge for their fucking bullshit buffet.
If
Yeah.
x is greater than or equal to 0 but less than or equal to 1,
The suburbs, way out, and they were like, "Oh,
then g of x is the integral from 0 to x of,
$28.
in this case, f of t is x.
I mean, there's hot. There's hot.
There was like a
Should
chicken
say,
dish or pay.
sorry,
Yeah.
just
I mean, you're
t
better off staying
dt,
a fucking Days Inn and getting
which
the same
is
kind of cereal.
1 half
You take as many as you want.
x squared.
Just say like, what, motherfucker?
Now, if x
I
is
don't
greater
shit
than
on
1
that right now.
and less than or
Do
equal
you
to
know
2,
who my father
You
is?
know who my father is? Because I don't. Jonathan Ramada.
then g of x is the integral from 0 to x of
You should probably cruise the
2
show.
minus x,
You would cruise.
which is 2 minus t here,
Adam was cruising.
dt.
I just watched that
Taking
movie. It's about being
antiderivatives.
sus.
Cruising USA. would
This
pretty much
is 2x minus 1 half x squared.
Cruising the world. Thailand. Wow.
Every level's Thailand.
Yeah. Going back to Thailand.
Well, not
Yeah,
exactly,
awesome.
My
because x has to lie between 1 and 2. And so this is actually equal to
sick.
This is so far.
some integral from 0
I mean, you didn't even try.
to 1
This is something designed by a
of f of t
Cruising USA was sick.
plus the integral from 1 to x of f of t.
Who's going solo to Thailand?
And this is equal to
Fuck.
And it's like, there's no way you're not having sex.
He could be having sex with lady
well,
boys.
plugging in integral from 0 to
He
1
might be of age lady
of
boys.
That's true.
x,
It's
which
probably
is
really
actually
fun
t,
if you're
because we're
doing
using the variable
that.
t
They
here,
probably have the best.
dt
Today?
plus the integral from
Alright,
1 to
someday.
x, and because x is between 1 and 2, this is a 2 minus t dt. Now taking into derivatives, this is 1 half t squared from 0 to 1 plus 2t minus 1 half t squared from 1 to x.
Are you gay?
Alright, folks.
Plugging in.
We gotta head to Funny Moms. It's been another
This
great one.
simplifies
Thank you to
to
Fat Titty Amber again. FTA.
1 half
Right.
plus 2x
It's my paninis.
minus
My paninis.
1 half x squared minus 2 plus 1 half, which is
Can't mock my
negative 1 half
penis face.
x squared
You can't mock my penis face. My
plus
penis face, my
2x.
penis face. And it's like
I only suck 3 dicks. I only suck 3 dicks.
when Adam was trying
minus
to be
1.
gay, and then he wrote that song.
Did you do that for real?
And finally,
My
if
penis
x
face
is greater than
face
2,
that I make when I have an orgasm.
Penis phase.
then g of x,
Oh, okay.
this is the integral
Alright,
from
Those
0
words
to
sound
x of ft,
Yeah.
which in this case is going to be g of 2 plus the integral from 2 to
I wish I
x
did that.
of f of
Still
t,
got time.
I feel like it's like you understand
which
life
is equal
better.
to,
Gay for like a month.
Yeah.
well, using the previous part, g of 2,
Come on, sword.
Yes.
if you plug
Yes.
this in,
Of
For
course.
what?
I don't
this
know that.
is
Did you have a sword?
negative
Either of
2
them.
squared over 2 plus 2 times
I've never
2
played Pokemon.
minus
What are you
1
talking about? Or would you
plus
not?
the integral from 2 to x of 0
sick.
dt, and this simplifies
You
to
never played Pokemon.
I bring up
got
a
the
top-
cards.
I
but
bring
only
up a
because
topic.
because they
I
were
bring up a
valuable.
topic.
which is
and
just
you
1.
guys, oh, I've never done that. So, oh, I guess we're done
And
discussing.
summarizing,
We can
I
it
talk
didn't say
follows
that we were
that
done discussing it. I just
g of x
contributed
is
that
a
I've never played it.
piecewise function,
I can't believe
Not today, Satan.
0, x is
I
less
don't
than
feel
0,
good.
x squared over
Sorry,
2
what's wrong?
I'm sick. I told you. I told you.
if
your ass
x is
hurts.
greater than or equal to 0
We'll talk about Pokemon.
and less than or equal
Continue.
to
I
1,
wasn't trying to cut you off.
and negative x
No,
squared
shut
over
up.
2
Continue. Continue
plus
your
2x.
Pokemon
I
talk.
don't even want to talk about
Let's talk about Pokemon, okay?
Sword
minus
Shield does
1
sound cool
if
as long
x
as
is
it's
greater
just a
than
sword
1
and a shield.
and less than or equal to
If it's
2,
Pokemon, but they also have swords.
and finally
Yeah.
1 if x is greater than 2.
Yes, dude. Just Call
Pokemon,
of Duty, but
Pokemon
it's.
Guns and Roses.
I would love that. You're getting head from strippers. I would honestly.
That's the
play
answer for part A.
every game
In part B, we're asked to sketch the
Bronze
graphs
Band Pokemon.
of both G and F.
It's the same exact game, but you just see little Pikachu with guitars.
I mean, I
That'd
probably
be
just
cute.
mentioned
That would be really
I got
cute.
home and I literally did not open it. And I probably won't.
What
That's
is
fine.
is
That's
it
a
like
power
a
move.
level-based game like Mario World?
Mario World
Like Super Mario World?
is what like that.
Luigi's Mansion? Or is it like you play party games? What is it?
Well, the graph of
I've
F,
never played it, dude.
Dude, why are
something
you
like
mentioning
this.
I haven't played video games
Yeah.
today?
I told you what I played. Sports
I'm
games.
too
Cool games.
I'm too cool to play video games.
I played Donkey Kong Country, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Donkey Kong's not a sports game.
That is sports.
No, it's
He's
not.
trying to
I'm
beat
too-
Neo Cortex.
I'm too cool to play. By the way, everyone, if you didn't know, I'm too cool to play video games.
There's a car
And you
racing
claim you were
level.
never gay.
Yeah.
You're over here trying to prove you're not gay and that you don't play video games.
I feel like if I was 5 years younger, I would have sucked a dick in college. I feel like
so I'll draw the graph of F
no,
in
you're
red,
still bad.
so we see that
Yeah.
F lies
You're
along
right
the
now,
x
you're
axis for all
absolutely
x less than 0,
Oh, if I was Gen Z,
and then from 0 up to 1,
You'd be sucking
is kinda
from the
worse
it's
than
clouds.
just
being
straight
gay.
line.
Oh, wow, so
100%,
much worse.
Yeah.
Being
Then
gay,
from 1
is
to
the gayest
2,
thing I've
it's another straight
Being
line,
gay
but
to
it
get
goes
pussy,
down
dude.
like this.
I would
And then
be gay to
from
get
2
pussy.
onwards,
in high school,
it
they were
lies
like,
along
you
the
get gay
x-axis.
for 3 months and you'll get like,
Bad
a bunch of
supremacy.
pussy.
Now, as for G,
Is
we'll
it-
use
After 3 to
the
tango.
result
Wait, so he's gay for
that
the
we found in
cloud?
part A.
So like
So once again,
like
for all points to the left of 0, G lies along the x-axis. But then, between 0 and 1, we have a quadratic form, x squared over 2.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you look after my girlfriend while I'm like gone or something? And then
And so,
he's like,
we increase up to
no
1/2,
problem, man.
like
Yeah,
this.
of course, totally.
Why? Because he thinks he's gay.
He thinks he's
Chandler's
gay,
And
yeah.
then,
And then he's like, I'm not.
from
They think
1 to
I'm gay.
2,
You know, or whatever.
we have another
He's like,
quadratic
sleeping
form,
with women.
which
And then he's like,
is
I'm
going to
gonna pretend
increase
be gay to
still
fuck these
up
women.
to
That's a good.
G of
Does he get
2,
pussy at the
which
end?
we
I think
saw
so,
was
yeah,
1.
he,
So
like-
up to
like,
1.
You know, it's like
And
he's
so it
taking,
looks
like, baths
something
with
like
the
this.
guy's
Yeah,
girlfriend,
hell
like,
yeah. Which, by the way,
and
is
like cleaning her pussy like a cat would.
That is.
And finally, for all x greater than 1,
And then she's like, it's
we
that
just
guy
follow the
who
horizontal
not
line,
straight and
y
you're
equals 1.
my
And so
like,
this is the graph of
husband's
G.
gay coworker who can lick
who
my
for some reason just he doesn't have any other closer friends to ask.
Finally, in
him.
part
Right,
C,
exactly.
we're asked to determine
But
where
also
f is
why would I need
differentiable
to do
and
this?
where
my
g is
pussy with his
different.
cock. You
To do
really
this,
clean your
I think
pussy
the
out.
easiest
It's
way
fun.
is to
It's
use
a-
the graphs.
it's gay
It's if I get all the way I
Looking at the graph of f, we see that f is differentiable
Ass, of course.
Of course. I'll be holding my nose
Yeah,
like this.
Holding my nose.
His
and
pussy
I'm-
stinks.
everywhere
He's got a magazine magazine called Gay Porn Magazine. while he's
Except
fucking her, right? So she sees
at
cover,
the
like, inside,
points,
straight
these
porn.
corners,
Cool. So true.
Yeah, so she's,
x
yeah,
equals
he's got
0,
a smaller
x
pornography
equals 1,
inside the gay
and
porn.
Wait,
x
I don't know.
equals
Textbook
2.
trick.
I don't understand the premise of someone asking someone else to watch their girl.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm
On the
sorry,
other
I'm
hand,
completely
Yeah,
look at the
there's
graph
probably
of
some
G.
actual, still contrived, but less stupid than
Yeah,
that
right.
reason.
Through the Tango is a 1999 Australian-American romantic comedy directed
G is
by
differentiable
Damon Santos Stefano.
That's three different cultures. with
everywhere.
Very gay names.
And in particular, G is differentiable also when x equals 0, 1, and 2, because those points are no longer corners. So G is just differentiable everywhere.
Three and Tango, yeah.
In this way, we see that the integral can change a function which is not differentiable at some points into a function which is differentiable everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And I love my mom.